Hi there, Mark here again. In the intro there you just saw a quick glimpse of some of the non-box art Tamiyas that I've done, and today I want to talk to you about a somewhat contentious subject, especially with most Tamiya fans, and that's whether or not to go box art. So I'm going to take you through some of the Tamiyas that I've already done and talk about my thinking behind the choices and the designs that I've come up with. I think there are two camps on this, and I think that I'm in both of them. In some cases I strongly want to go box art, as in with this Lancer, Mitsubishi Lancer. It's a Dakar rally raid car, and on this one I really thought it was really a no-brainer to go with the box art on this one. But in a lot of other cases I really want to put my own stamp on the car and create my own version. I've had a lot of enjoyment and pleasure seeking out the kind of design that I want to do and then putting it into practice. So let's look at where my non-box art really started, and that was with me and my son Alf on these Super Fighters and Neo Scorchers that we got about 5 or 6 years ago. So when we got back in stock with two Neo Scorchers on the TT-02B chassis and these two lovely racing fighters on the DT-02 chassis, the main aim was to go out and play together and basically race around the park. And with two cars exactly the same in box art, that was going to be really awkward, especially at a distance, being able to spot your own car. And for other people that were watching along, they wouldn't have a clue which car was in the front or which car was behind. So we decided, you know, it really was a necessity for us to come up with some different designs. Now, it was Alf with the Neo Scorcher that decided he wanted a completely different colour. I went box art and he did his green, and I thought that turned out great. I'll put a picture of that up now. Very shortly after we got these Super Fighters, and neither of us were very keen on the actual box art itself. They came in a kind of, I think it's like a dark grey, almost black body colour. These are hard bodies, whereas the Neo Scorcher was Lexan that you have to spray from the inside. But so these are hard bodies and you paint these on the outside. I think you could have just left it in the bare plastic and put the standard sticker pack on, but we thought, you know what, let's have a look around and get some ideas of what we could do for our own designs. A great place to start for inspiration for me is racing cars, so looking at Formula 1 cars, rally cars, touring cars, that kind of thing. And I've always really loved the Alitalia rally car livery, and so that's what I went after, and I found a sticker pack available online. It was only about 10 quid. I think it was an A5 sheet with these Alitalia stickers on. So I ordered those, some white paint, and this is what we ended up with. And this ended up being my channel avatar, that helmet in there, as you can see, from all those years ago. And basically I adapted the stickers themselves. I chopped them up a bit to make them fit on the top of these kind of pods, and then continued up onto the wing. So I think that worked quite well. And Alf did a bit of research himself and found this Rockstar livery that was on, I'm pretty sure it was an Australian touring car livery, and he actually ordered these stickers from Australia, would you believe? I think they came in about, I think it was 15 or 16 pounds even with delivery. And these are a great set of decals. They are like the original Tamiya ones on really thin clear vinyl. I'm not sure if it even is vinyl. I think these were vinyl stickers definitely, because the print is on the top of the sticker, and these are like the Tamiya decals where the print is printed underneath the sticker itself. They're much better quality. So yeah, the main theme of that car that Alfred got for inspiration was the black and the yellow. So we went down to Halford's, got some car spray paints, the black and the yellow, and this is what we ended up with. Obviously they weren't laid out like this on the actual touring car itself because it's a completely different shape, but we managed to work out the sizes and the stickers that fitted in kind of the right places. The main logos on the sides, as you can see, and then we just chopped the others up to fit, and yeah, I think it came out rather well. And the bonus being that when we were out racing at the park, there was no way you could get these two cars mixed up. And another thing that we did to these to add a little bit more detail was to put the cockpit in. If you can see from underneath, it's just an aluminium sheet that's been bent up and stuck in with hot glue, and the driver figure himself is affixed with hot glue. As you can see, the holes there help the adhesion. And the driver figure itself is a mould that was done by my friend Rob Brennan. He actually made a mould using one of his Tamiya drivers and reproduced this in resin. So he did one for me and one for Alf, and we painted the inside of the plate black there and stuck the driver in, put the standard Tamiya driver's head on, and yeah, I think that really adds to it. I'll just show you the one that was in mine. As you might be able to see, it's the same driver figure, just painted up differently, and with the Alitalia decals added to the helmet. So as you can see, we've done quite a few little hop-ups to these DT-02s, and I will be doing a review of the DT-02 chassis in a video coming up soon. So as I said, for me, for a Tamiya buggy that isn't a copy of a real car, it's kind of a made up body that's got no relation to anything that exists in real life. I think it's fair game to make your own stamp on it, put your own colour scheme and stickers on there, and yeah, it really does make it your own, and that's part of this hobby for me, is to make these things what I really want them to be, and make them quite personal to yourself. So yeah, buggies, in my book, fair game. But as I said earlier, there are cases where I really want to stick with the box art, and that's when it's a replica of a real life car, like these WRC rally cars. Tamiya come up with some fantastic bodies for these, and the decals, the graphics are fantastic copies of the original cars, and to me it would be a shame to not use those. The pleasure I get from these models, the fact that it looks like the real thing, especially filming them with my GoPro, you get some great footage. It can almost look like the real car, and yeah, so for that reason alone, I would always try and stick with the box art for a copy of a real racing car itself. However, with a Tamiya rally car, or a road car for that matter, you can kind of put your own spin on it and not go with the Tamiya box art and still end up with a kind of real world copy of the real car. For a good example of that is the Ford Escort Cosworth Turbo. Now Tamiya have done this kit in a few flavours. This is the Tiger Stripe, I really do love this one, but they also did the Repsol version, which was kind of white and orange with the Repsol stickers, and they did the Michelin Pilot, was like the Michelin Man logo, and the Michelin logos all over it. So Tamiya themselves did, I think, 3 versions that I know of the Cosworth Turbo, but there are even more versions out there. In fact, this isn't even a genuine Tamiya body, this is a Camtech reproduction, and these aren't Tamiya stickers or decals. These are from a company called rcdecals.co.uk that did the replica Tiger Stripes, and they also do other liveries of the actual real rally cars for the Escort Cosworth. For example, they did 2 versions of the car that was used by Ken Block, so you can get exact copies of the decals for that Escort. Another example being the Escort Mark II. I know you can get exact replicas of these for the Rothmans livery, the Colin McRae livery that he used in his rally campaign back then, and one for the British Airways livery. So yeah, you can always put your own spin on a rally car body like that. Now another option for the bodywork that you could try is something that I'd call near box art, and this is a good example. This is a Terra Scorcher, and with this, the only thing that I've done differently to the actual box art itself is to swap the main colour, which is the main blue, to a metallic, and I just think it adds that bit more sparkle. It's a very similar shade of blue, but it's got that metallic sparkle to it, like I said. So near box art is something, I don't know, what do you think out there, guys? Do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing? Should you be doing it? Shouldn't you be doing it? To me, you know, again, it just puts that little bit of personality into your kit, and gives it just a slightly different flavour. Here's another one that I'd call near box art. It's got kind of the main flavour of the Neo Scorcher itself, which was the blue down the sides, and I think it was stickers that did the white, which is kind of the central tub. So again, I've gone with a really bright metallic blue down the sides and actually sprayed the centre part in pearl white. And what I've done is what I like to do with my buggies anyway, when you've got that central theme down the middle, the white there, continue that onto the spoiler or the wing, and yeah, so this was a completely different set of stickers to the original, as you can see. And another option is to swap out the wheels to change the colour flavour again. So I've put the yellow wheels here on off the Super Avante, and I think they really contrast well with the blue and the white. So that's what I would call again near box art. So here's another example of totally going off the box art. This is my Dark Impact on the DF03, and with this one I thought I'd have a bit of an experiment. So here's a little example of experimenting with a paint job where I tried to do a kind of fade from like a dark metallic through to, I think it's metallic black in the middle. I hope it's coming across in the light. It gives quite a nice effect. So there's something else you can play around with. Just try experimenting with different paints and fades and see what effects you can come up with. I think it looks rather good. And just to finish off with, I thought I'd show you again. You've probably seen it before if you follow the channel, but this is my Super Avante. A fabulous gift from the RC Elf. Thank you, RC Elf. And there's a lot of people, I wasn't really that keen on the box art itself on this one. And as I said, as it's a buggy, it's not a real car, I thought I would give it my own twist. And again, the inspiration for this one was from Formula 1 cars. It's okay, it's not exactly Formula 1 shape, but I think the little mud guards look very similar to what I fitted to Formula 1 in the last couple of seasons, and that really started me looking at those cars. And as you can see, I think this is probably mainly inspired by the Mercedes Formula 1 team colours. I think it's probably more silver down the middle. I was thinking about silver with the dark metallic. I could have gone into a metallic black, but this is a gunmetal grey. And again, yeah, I think that goes well, the contrast of colours, and again following that main theme of the white down the centre onto the rear wing, just carries that theme through. So I wasn't sure whether the yellow accents would work with this colour scheme, with the white and the dark metallic grey. So I just did a test fit, and it did seem to match quite well. It seemed to like the contrast. I did like that. So again, part of the fun of it for me, of coming up with your own livery, is doing a bit of suck it and see. Try out a few options you've got, look at what stickers you've got spare, and see what goes where. And yeah, you can come up with some great designs yourself by just looking at real racing cars for inspiration and a bit of trial and error. So back to the DT-02 where we started, and one thing I don't think I have showed you before is I did buy another body, a spare second-hand body from eBay, and I tried another colour scheme. So here's another famous racing colour scheme, the Gulf racing colours, and again it's just automotive paint, car paint that I got from the local Halfords. Got the closest colours that I could, that I thought matched up with the Gulf blue and the Gulf orange, and got myself a spare body set. So yeah, it's quite nice to be able to run this one now and again. I don't know if you can see in there as well, that is actually a Monster Beetle driver, and again I've done the same with the aluminium for the cockpit. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed looking at some of the cars I've done, and I hope it has inspired you to have a go at your own liveries and your own bodywork, put your own spin on your cars. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think you should stick to the box art strictly, or do you agree that it's a good thing to have a go at trying something a little bit different? Anyway, thanks for watching as always. I hope you join me on the next one. Bye.